Told me that in the watch is a little glass vial that is full of a material called tritium. And the tritium reacts with the paint on the face of the face of the watch and makes it glow. And I said, yeah, I did notice that this thing glows like crazy at night. In fact, if I'm trying to sleep and I had forgotten to take it off, I can tell what time it is without opening my eyes. But he assured me that it was safe, and tritium is not the kind of danger that you might think, but it does have to require that it carries the little warning on the face of the watch. And so he said, funny thing that you bring that up, because I sell 200, 300 of these watches a year. It's a small business. And I got this order once. I went onto my website, and there's an order from a gentleman in the Middle East, and he wanted 5,000 of them. And he didn't know I was a cop or anything, but I was a little bit suspicious about that. So I contacted somebody in the Department of Homeland Security, and they told me not to fulfill that order because the guy might be wanting to get all your little glass vials of tritium. And he kind of treated this humorously, as did I, but he did not fill the order. And so that was the story. He told me that story. So there's that one story. And that was told to me in Los Angeles. And then one day, almost a year later, I was having lunch with someone who is in the Department of Homeland Security on the eastern coast of the country. And I told him the story. I said, would this be real that they would tell this guy not to fulfill an order because they actually imagined, some mad bomber in the Middle East cracking open little tiny vials of tritium? And he, could neither confirm or deny. He just said, but it's symbolic of where we are in this country, in my country at this time, where we straddle a line between vigilance and paranoia. And when he said that, it kind of crystallized something that has a great interest to me, is how we've changed in our society, and that idea of what is vigilance and what is paranoia. And he told me a story. Then he traced me a story back, and he said the best way I could tell you of how we've changed is to tell you about a heist that occurred in 1998, before 9/11. There's a hospital in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's a cancer clinic, primarily a women's cancer clinic. And one night, in the middle of the night, somebody went into the clinic, got down into the oncology lab in the basement, and got into the safe where they keep the cesium, which is used to treat cervical cancer. And they took it all, and they took a large quantity. Cesium used in small seeds and small amounts is has very positive results in the treatment of cancer. If you have a lot of it, it can be very dangerous. And in that hospital, they had a lot of it together in a safe, and it was all stolen in the middle of the night. But that was 1998, and so that crime was treated as a financial caper, a heist. It was stolen because it's valuable, and they assumed it was taken out of the country and sold to a hospital in Eastern Europe. And it's never been solved. They don't know whether one person did this, 10 people did it. They never found that cesium. And the secret agent, he's in the Secret Service, which is now part of the Homeland Security. He told me, that's a story now that is taught in Homeland Security, because if that ever happened now, it would not be treated as a heist. It would not fly under the radar. It would become, as he called it, federal pandemonium, because all the forces of Homeland Security would descend on that clinic, and they would do whatever they had to do to find what happened to the cesium, who took it, and what their plans were. And in him telling me how his world had changed, he gave me the idea for a book, and that's what The Overlook's about. And it's a Harry Bosch book. It starts with Harry being called out to a murder scene on an overlook, a promontory that has a wonderful view of the city of Los Angeles, and there's a man who's dead there, and by job he is a medical physicist, and medical physicists are the people that go into the hospitals and determine the doses of radiation and so forth, and handle the materials that can be quite dangerous. And so from that crime scene, they very quickly find that this man who is now dead had gone into a hospital and taken a very dangerous amount of cesium out and has turned it over to persons unknown. And that's the start of this story. There's cesium missing, there's a murder, so Harry Bosch is on the case. But very quickly, all the forces of Homeland Security, the FBI, the federal government come down on this case to find out where that cesium went and what the plans are. And so hopefully it's a page turner. It's a very tightly drawn story. It takes place in only 12 hours from beginning to end. It's a race type of story. But it's a tortoise and rabbit kind of story. The feds come in and have to move quickly, as I believe they should. They have to find this material. But Harry's kind of the plotting tortoise, and he believes that if you find out who killed this man on the Overlook, you're going to find the cesium. The feds' philosophy is, forget about the murder. What's more important here is finding this dangerous material, and they go off in kind of different directions. And it's about Harry trying to hold on to his part of the investigation. And you'll have to read it to find out who wins, the tortoise or the hare.